Always great having Elise Reed on the show, and she's got another big fight. This time, June the 3rd at UFC Vegas 74 when she takes on Jinh Yu Frey. Elise, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Great to have you back. And as we were saying before we went live here, the fight is almost here. It's right around the corner. So just tell me how's camp been? How are you feeling?
Camp's been great. It's definitely it feels like it's been a long camp. So you definitely get to points where you're a little tired and exhausted, but yeah, fight week is next week and we put a lot of good time in, so we're ready to go.
Anything new or different in this particular camp?
So we found some training different training partners since she is a lefty and as much as everybody wants to strike, they tend to want to wrestle at this point. So yeah, so we worked with Erin Blanchfield's camp, Fatima, sparred with her quite a bit, and I'd say training partners. Outside of that, still getting after it in terms of the conditioning and everything else, but elevated the training partners a little bit.
That's fantastic. Does
Yeah.
that kind of elevate your confidence leading into this fight?
Yeah, I mean, so initially I get my butt kicked at the beginning of the fight camp, and then by the end of it, I've kind of figured it out, and we've put together a good game plan. So I think at this point, since pretty much last May, June, um, we've been working ground and wrestling, and we've really been improving that side of the camp. So at this point, for me to be able to exchange really well with my training partners in both the striking and wrestling ground game, I feel like this one's going to be a great fight where it can go anywhere, and I'm happy to go anywhere as well.
How much work specifically did you get in with Aaron?
So it wasn't Erin; it was Erin's teammate Fatima, because Erin's a 125. She's a little big for me, but we were working consistently for like the last 3-4 weeks. So it's been some good work.
Okay. I thought you had said like the whole camp, like maybe you were getting work with her and others. So I misunderstood you there.
No, you're good. You're good. No worries. Yeah.
Okay. Well, still high level training partners, no matter where you get it, with your normal team or you're going out and and working with others.
Yep.
Can't wait to see the new and evolved Elise Reed for this fight. With the fight being again next week, it's almost
Yeah.
weight cutting time. So I have to ask you, have you been staying away from those 20-pound bags of rice?
Yeah. No. No, actually, I think we opened another 20-pound bag of rice last week. So, yeah, I'm really grateful that we're talking about a weight cut, that I have to work really hard to stay heavy. And so when weight cut comes around, it's not so bad for me. The old school 105 days, they were miserable. It was lettuce and air and ice cubes, right? But
Oof.
at this point, we can diet and moderate the right way. But no, rice is still in my diet. I had it yesterday. I mean,
Okay.
it's a staple. You know what I mean? You can't get rid of it.
Of course. And obviously I'm alluding to the Instagram post that you
Yeah.
made. Tell me the story. What exactly happened with that? Was that a joke or did that really happen?
It really happened. So I'm in ShopRite. I'm doing the normal groceries, and I eat rice almost every day. I mean, just because I track macros, it's a carb, it's easy to make. And so I ran out of rice, and so I'm going back to the grocery store. I'm like, okay, so I can get rice. And ShopRite's got this 20-pound, like it's sewn together almost like with fabric. So I pick it up, and the girl next to me, she goes, "That's a lot of rice. Like, what are you gonna do with that?" I was like, "Just gonna eat it. Thank you. Yeah, no, I love my rice." So yeah, she gave me a little. She was questioning it, because I'm again not the biggest person either, and 20-pound bag of rice, takes up half my leg. So, um, yeah, it was all good. It is what it is.
Okay. Well, I had to imagine she wasn't assuming that you were going to eat the whole 20-pound bag of rice in one sitting. But so was it just like an awkward conversation? Was she actually being mean to you?
It was a look. She looked really surprised when I picked it up, and then she said something to me, and I was like, I don't know what you want me to say. It's rice. I'm gonna eat the rice. Like I don't know if she expected me to have like, oh yeah, no, I'm having a party or something, but she definitely was she was judgmental just a little bit. I don't think it was like, who are you to grab that big bag of rice? But she also was a bit surprised. So
You were just shopping smartly. You're buying in bulk. You're saving money, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And maybe I eat it every day, but hey, it is what it is.
Fair enough. Well, I had to address that. I saw the post. I thought it was funny. Um,
Yeah.
let's talk about UFC 284, Australia, your last fight. Didn't go your way against Loma Lookboonmee.
No.
Looking back at it now, Elise, where did you learn from, or what did you learn from that fight?
So, leading up to that fight, I had a torn quad tendon, so I was PTing that, and then 2 weeks before that fight, I actually broke my toe, and didn't obviously tell anybody. But so we're dealing a lot of injuries. We're going against someone that is Muay Thai fighter, again striker. I'm like, okay, we'll go toe to toe and we'll strike. And I think in that fight, I didn't give myself enough credit after the first round of really how much I messed with her, because she changed her entire game plan. And like, if you ever watch any of Loma's fights, she's never done what she did, unfortunately, on 284, and it just wasn't something we were expected. So I think what I learned in that one was, if I have somebody to where I'm almost finishing it, take 60 seconds, take 30 seconds, figure out what they're going to do next, and then kind of go from there. I was calling her slow in the corner, which she was. I got a lot of flack for that, but her footwork, I could see it, right? I could see it, and she did a really good play going under the right hand and timed it perfect. But I thought we were striking, so I was ready to go striking again, and she had gotten really good advice in the corner and just decided to dive straight forward. So I think it's a mix. As a fighter, you want to be patient, but you also want to be aggressive to where you can take advantage of opportunities. And I think I was, um, not thinking that she wasn't going to come at me with anything new, but I thought she was going to still strike with me and want to go toe to toe. And she changed her game plan. So if I put somebody in that type of position, I'm just gonna take 30 seconds, see what she does, feint a little bit more, give her some looks so that I can see what they do next, and that stuff will never happen again, because that was one where it's like so close.
Yeah.
And I had her all day, and then she made that really good movement, and yeah, it's just being a little bit nicer to myself in the corner and understanding that I take everything really critically. I'm very critical, and I was a little overcritical. I didn't realize that she had nothing. She was like pulling out of her B, D, E, C game plans, um, and I have to be able to look for that. So
When you say
yeah.
you took a lot of flack for what you said in the corner, are you talking about the keyboard warriors on Twitter or?
Oh yeah, the trolls, they come out. They come out when you lose, they come out like that is their best day. I don't understand why. I can't understand what a person does. Like, how shitty your life has to be to where when somebody else loses, you're like, well, you called her slow and then you got caught. It's like, she was slow. Like, I would still say that today. But yeah, the trolls are something else. I mean, you get used to them and you learn to just let them pick somebody else next day when it's not their day. But their life has to be so miserable that they want to hurt like say stupid shit online. It's crazy. But yeah, gotta love the trolls.
Yeah. I don't know how you fighters in particular actually how this happens the way that it does, right? Like, I don't know if they feel like because, because MMA in general, Elise, is, a newer sport compared to like,
Yeah.
basketball, like the NBA or the NFL or Major League Baseball, where they've been around forever. And like those athletes, I feel like maybe they don't feel like they're as accessible, And so if they post something
Oh,
on
maybe.
Twitter
Yeah.
that they feel like that they're going to get a response out of you, like maybe they'll see it and maybe they'll respond to me. Like it blows my mind, like how mean people can be. I even have people that'll comment like on my interviews and say mean stuff. And I'm just like, who are you? Like
Well,
what?
my favorite, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like to interact with my fans. I've been doing live streams and other things because I like that. You know what I mean? Like that's why you do it. To be able to reach people. I mean, MMA is such an individual thing, right? You
Mhm.
go out there, you're thinking about the same day for the last 8 to 10 weeks, and then it goes your way, or you succeed or you fail, and then you live with that because it's your life, right? And then everybody else decides that they're going to jump in as well. Um, but my favorite thing is looking at the troll comment and then like being like, okay, let's see how many they got. No followers, they got like 2 people. All they do is talk shit about everybody else. So at that point, I don't take much offense to it, and I surely don't respond because that's exactly probably what they
Yeah.
want. But I'll look at them. I'll look at them, and some of my friends don't agree with it, but I'll read them out loud, and I'll be like, "This is like they're talking to nobody. Like it's
Yeah.
just yeah, they're just something else."
They just wish that they could be where you're at competing, in front of the world on a big
Right.
stage, like it's just jealousy. So you just, let it roll off your back. No big deal there. Um, Let me ask you just about fighting in
Yeah.
Perth, UFC 284. Obviously, we're still talking about that. I mean, what was that like? The travel there, the fans, the energy. It looked amazing.
It was unbelievable. Perth was so I have been very fortunate that I've fought in London, and that was insane. And Perth was arguably better than London. Like those two were probably the energy is crazy. But we went out there. We got it out there a few days early. We're looking out into the ocean. We have like right by the beach. Amazing. Weather's gorgeous. And then the fans are incredible. So I mean, it was something where I know that they're going again in Sydney towards the end of the year. I would 100% fight again over there because it's just the atmosphere. I mean, the taxes kind of suck. They kind of, they kind of, I didn't like that so much. So Sydney, Australia, government kind of changed that up. But it was amazing. I mean, I'll go there just to vacation at this point because it really is incredible. Yeah,
You
10 out
said
of
before 10 out of 10. Wow.
10 out of
Okay.
10.
Did you see a kangaroo?
Yeah, pet one. I mean, we did all the all the tourist things. We went to parks and walked, and then we saw caves, and then we went to kangaroos, and we pet some kangaroos, fed kangaroos, saw ostriches. We went to one zoo that was like, you looked at the Yelp reviews. We did it after. We should have done it sooner, but the Yelp reviews is like, these animals look like they've been in cages and that they should be released. And it was my coach's wife almost got attacked by like a deer or some type of big animal. I mean, it was a good solid event there. We almost got murdered by the livestock because they just like were around. It's just like one fence, and but yeah, we did all the tourist things.
Yeah. Well, that's what you said to me before you were gonna go. And I was thinking about it too, because I believe we talked about this before, if I'm not mistaken, but that big jacked up kangaroo that like attacked that guy, remember? Like and he
Yeah.
punched it right in the face because it
Yes.
had his dog in a headlock.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
are you sure it wasn't that kangaroo that like almost attacked your coach's wife?
I'm not sure. If that kangaroo got caught, this would be the place where it would go because it was like ghetto zoo type thing going on where everybody had to fend for themselves. We did see massive kangaroos in the distance. So I mean, it could have been that guy because they looked like 7, 8 feet tall. They were huge,
Wow.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, I've never been to Australia, but hopefully one day I can
Cool.
check that off my bucket list. Did you get a chance to watch that main event? Makachev Volkanovski. I mean, it was a thing of
Yeah.
beauty.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I was fortunate to be able to watch it. It was, like I said, Volk did his thing as much as it went the other way. I think there'll absolutely be a rematch, and I look forward to watching that rematch. Because I don't think I don't think Volk will lose twice. You know what I mean? I think he's gonna be able to take it this next time, this next go.
Did you get a chance to talk to either Volk or Makachev when you were over there to meet either one?
No, no, no. That I mean, I got a picture with Charles Oliveira, nicest guy ever. Um, we kind of I kind of fangirled a little bit, and I think I was getting my medicals, and my coach was up on the balcony or something. And he's like, "Hey, by the way, I think Charles is next to you." I was like, "Oh yeah, he is. I'm getting a photo with him." But he is super nice. Um, I talked actually. You know what? I talked to Uriah Faber
Oh, very cool.
um, after the fight. So I had lost, and I caught him getting down the elevator, and he actually was talking about how he gave Corey McKenna some shit because I kept hitting her with the right hand, and he's like, "I don't know how you did it." Um, but yeah, yeah. So I had a little back and forth with Uriah.
That's very cool. California kid.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's not super tall,
Yeah,
so he's you know he's a legend. So it was cool.
absolutely. Yeah, very very cool. And obviously, this fight was in February, so it's been a little
Yeah.
while. Is this the right time frame for you to jump back in here, June the 3rd?
It is. They initially wanted. I was trying to get in May in Newark, and they had that because that card was pretty dope. I was trying to get there, and then they gave me this one in June. And so I think what is this? 4 months? Yeah, 4 or 5 months. I think that's probably reasonable. Um, Allows me to get a good camp, make sure nothing's broken or destroyed from the last one. I tend to fight all the time though, so we'll see. I'll say 6 months, and then after this fight, they'll be like, "Hey, you want to fight again July?" I'll be like, "Yeah, let's do it." So yeah, no, I think at least as long as I get a good camp, 8 to 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, I'm ready to go. So this was a good spot.
Well, obviously, you're totally dialed in for this upcoming fight with Fry, but I know the
Yeah,
UFC is coming to Boston in August. Is
yeah.
is that something that interests you to fight on that card?
I have family in Boston. My cousins are in Boston. My extended family is in Boston. I would love to go to Boston. I think those talk about some trolls. I think those fans would be pretty crazy. Um, Hopefully I'd be on their happy side. But no, yeah, I if the UFC asked to go to Boston, I'd absolutely go to Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm from the New England area. I'm a
yeah.
little north of Boston, so I could tell you the Boston fan base, they'd support you at least. They
Oh,
wouldn't be
good.
too bad, or at least I wouldn't be bad if I was
Yeah,
out
yeah.
there. So
But you're unsure, right? Because it's like they either love you or it's like you're like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? So I just have to get somebody that wasn't from the US. I'd be good.
mm,
I'd be good. If you can
exactly.
feel
There
it.
you go. It just depends on how much alcohol has been consumed, and
Yeah.
that's with us Bostonians. That's usually the case. Now, yeah, I did look at your Tapology record before the interview. You've been kind of exchanging wins and losses here. So coming off this loss, are you feeling pressure to get this win to obviously not drop two in a row?
It's always something that you think about. You try not to, but it's always something you think about. I honestly the losses that I've taken, one, I go big or go home, right? I mean, they're all finishes. So um it's I've learned so much from each one that I really I don't know I don't know how this doesn't end in a finish for me and a W. Like it's weird to say that, but like even the last one in Loma, I got caught. I didn't get defeated. I had butchered her in the first round, and it was just a strategy thing that I should have been aware of. And at this point, now I know that. I've obviously experienced Sam Hughes loss, so it's going to be really hard for her to beat me. I think I've had a lot of experience both in the positive and the negative end that I think it's going to be really difficult for her to come through with the W. So I'm not worried about that at all, honestly.
And she's on a two fight skid right now, so it's important for her to get a win. So
Oh yeah,
you sound very very confident leading into this
yeah.
fight. What is it about this opponent where you just feel so confident that you're going to be able to get a finish and you're going to be able to kind of do what you want in the cage?
I I have been forced in a good way, but to practice everything that I have not been good at for like a year straight. And one, yeah, she's coming off 2 losses, so she's gonna be like a bat out of hell often. I mean, if she's not emotionally charged, then she'll be smarter for it. Um, but at this point, my striking easily top 10 striking in the division. I don't think many strawweights can touch me in terms of striking. So then it goes, okay, so the one you're gonna do striking, you're gonna go ground. And I've been working ground and wrestling for the last year. So it's gonna be, again, I have a lot of experience. I think it's gonna be really hard for her to one up me on this one. And you know, fighting a lefty, I've always done well against lefty. So I just don't think that there's something that she can come in and surprise me with. And I think she has a lot more stress for her to win than for me. And I think that also doesn't help her. So we'll see. It'll motivate her for sure, but I don't think it'll help her. I've seen that have to win mentality with Sam Hughes, and that shit won't happen again. So
Do you feel like this fight you finish this on the feet, or is this going to the ground? You're getting a sub.
no,
How
I
do
think
you
it's
get
going
the
on the
finish?
ground. I think it's ground and pound. I think it's gonna be. I think it's at one way or another. We'll get to the ground, and everybody will learn that I can handle myself on the ground, and that'll be that.
Have you watched a lot of the tape for the Polyana fight or the Vanessa the Demopoulos loss? Is there something like real specific that you've been like, okay, I picked up on something here that I'm really just going to be able to get the better of her at?
So I mean, I think just she has some calls that my coach and I have we believe that we figured out. Obviously, we can't go by, someone's a robot and they're going to do the same stuff because it doesn't happen. They could make stuff up on that day. But in terms of fighting a lefty, my coach is a lefty, so he knows a lot of the traps and the things that lefties like to do and what often is best for that type of fighting stance. And I have a lot of good answers to it. So yeah, so I'm excited. If we want to keep distance and she wants to keep range, I'm happy there. If she wants to close in and she wants to go, toe to toe with the crosses, I'm even happier there. And then if she wants to start wrestling, then we'll take it to the ground and she'll forget her name. So, you know, it is what it
Okay.
is.
All right. I love it. I wanted to get your take too on, fighting back at the Apex. This will be your third time fighting
Yeah.
at the UFC Apex. I can't imagine it's the same jolt of energy you get walking to the cage in London or in Australia. But what is it like fighting at the Apex? Are you happy to be back in this more intimate setting?
I can't stand the Apex, and I'll let everybody know about it. But it's a necessary fight for me to fight in the Apex, because it is a smaller cage, it is a different environment, and the UFC are not going to have cards where they're all fight nights and there's always a crowd, right? Because they had the Apex, so going back and forth is good practice. But I can't stand it. It feels like it's like you and 6 other people. I think one of my teammates was saying that it sounds like poetry or a comedy club, poetry hour, like an open mic night. So it's not a good energy. If anything, the thing that I like about the Apex is that anytime somebody hits somebody, you can hear it really well. So you get to hear it. You get to hear those rights. But yeah, no, I don't care for it. I mean, I'd much rather have a crowd. So I'll still get the job done, but I'll just like walk into the cage and walk out, and then I'll grab a beer after, and that's just what's gonna happen. So it is what it is.
Fair enough. Well, regardless, we're excited to see you back in there again, June the 3rd,
Yeah.
UFC Vegas 74. Before we do sign off, Elise, I got to ask you, I see the jersey and the basketball in the case behind you.
Yeah.
Is that your old?
No, no, it's not mine. I can't play basketball for my life. So it's Dana's. She played basketball in college. I can't. If there is one sport God told me that I was going to play, it's basketball. I can't jump. I'm not tall, and I've got no shot. So
Okay.
no, I let her put that stuff up there.
That was my sport when I was a little bit younger.
Oh yeah.
I played in college for a couple of years, but I'm
Oh
only
nice.
5'10", so I'm a little vertically challenged for basketball too. So yeah, I kind of capped out where I did, and it is what it is. But I just had to ask. I see the ball and the
Yeah,
jersey,
no,
so
it'll be something that I get better at because she can teach me. But yeah, I was never very inclined to try basketball. Little too short for it.
well, you're good at fighting people. That's why you're in the UFC. So that is a
True.
phenomenal thing. As we were talking about earlier, the sport just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
So can't wait to see you back in there, Elise, again, June 3rd, UFC Vegas 74. As always, I really appreciate your time. Please tell people where they can follow you on social media. If you have anyone to thank, anything to plug, the floor is yours.
yeah. No, so Elise Reed MMA is my Instagram and Twitter. Feel free to troll me there if you'd like. Add some comments. Outside of that, kickside martial arts, and yeah, we're ready to work in June.